Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Melvin Franklin, a notorious American bass artist, cut his name in the chronicles of music history through his hypnotizing exhibitions as an establishing individual from the unbelievable Motown singing gathering. The Enticements Franklin's excursion with the Enticements crossed a great length as he contributed his noteworthy vocal abilities to the gathering from 1960 to 1995 during this period. Rose to conspicuousness, dazzling crowds were wide with their heartfelt harmonies also, jolting stage presence, perceiving his uncommon commitments to the music business. Melvin Franklin got a merited honor posthumous in February 2013. He was presented with a lofty lifetime achievement Grammy grant, a demonstration of his perseverance through influence as an individual from the allurements. This award not only praised his singular ability yet likewise recognized the gathering system heritage, which keeps on moving ages of craftsmen and fans, further solidifying his spot in the pantheon of cadence and blues music. Melvin Franklin was posthumous accepted into the regarded cadence and blues music corridor of notoriety on August 17th, a pivotal day in the archives of music. His acceptance filled in as a powerful sign of the permanent imprint left by the allurements on the class. This acknowledgement featured the persevering through impact of Franklin in the gathering, hardening their status as trailblazers and torchbearers of profound R&B music. Melvin Franklin, conceived David Melvin English, entered the world on October 1942 in Montgomery, Alabama. His mom, Rose English, was a youthful young person, hailing from neighboring Portable. Unfortunately, Melvin's natural father, an evangelist at the English family's congregation in Versatile, committed a deplorable demonstration impregnating Rose through assault. Following Melvin's introduction to the world, Rose hitched Willard Franklin, and the family moved to Detroit. Anyway, Rose's grandma demanded raising Lil David, and he was shared with her consideration, while his mom and stepfather settled in Detroit. When he was 10 years of age during his high school years, David English presently taking on his stepfather's family name, Franklin left on his melodic excursion. He turned into a functioning individual from various singing gatherings in Detroit. For example, the Voice Experts, where he teamed up with striking gifts like Lamont Dwyer, David Ruffin, and oftentimes performed close by Richard Road. In 1958, Franklin's cohort at Northwestern Secondary School, Otis Williams, framed his own singing gathering called Otis Williams and the Siberians. The gathering was almost there of getting a record contract with prestigious maker Johnny May Matthews at the point when their bass vocalist Arthur Walton left to finish his secondary school training. Williams recalls Franklin's excellent vocal ability from their time in The Voice. Experts spotted Melvin strolling through a nearby neighborhood and broadened a greeting to join as their new bass artist in 1959. Franklin and his gathering, presently known as Otis Williams, and the Siberians, endorsed with Anna Records, a mark helped to establish by Anna Gordy, sister of the amazing Berry Gordy. The gathering recorded a few singles under this mark, including striking tracks like Required and Trust and Pray. During this period, Franklin created close bonds with his kindred performers Richard Road and David Ruffin, warmly alluding to them as his cousins in spite of not being blood-related. It was additionally during this time that Franklin found himself sincerely engaged with Mary Wilson, what's to come famous vocalist of the Supremes. During this groundbreaking period, Melvin Franklin momentarily selected at Wayne State College, showing a commitment to both his schooling and his maturing music vocation. Anyway, the gathering's continuous sovereignty debate with Johnny May Matthews eventually brought about the end of their agreement with Northern Records. Thus, by 1960, the once flourishing outfit known as the Distinct once found themselves decreased to a triplet, later Richard Rhodes' takeoff resolute. By this mishap, the excess individuals from the gathering worked together with Paul Williams and Eddie Kendricks, producing a new melodic partnership under the name Elgin. Their aggregate gifts and harmonies grabbed the eye of no other than Moan Records. In Walk 1961, Ellens inked a manage the eminent name and speedily embraced another moniker that would perpetually resound in the hearts of music darlings, the Allurements. All through the Allurements' renowned lifetime, Melvin Franklin and Otis Williams stood as the sole establishing individuals who stayed unfaltering in their responsibility to the gathering. Franklin's full bass voice took off to extraordinary levels, becoming one of the gathering's defining highlights. His profound and deep vocals graced various diagram-beating hits, including prominent tunes like I Really Genuinely Accept from the collection The Allurements Wish It Will Downpour 1968, The Prophet from A Tune for You 1975, and his particular live execution of Elderly Person Waterway, perceived for his extraordinary vocal capacities. Franklin frequently displayed his improvisational abilities, easily winding around harmonies with his bandmates during the time of hallucinogenic soul. He played a conspicuous job in conveying significant portions of key stanzas eminently in the Allurements 1970 hit single bundle of disarray. That is what the world is today. Franklin left a permanent imprint by conveying the strong line, and the band goes on one critical harvest time day in 1978. Franklin ended up trapped, carefully targeted by a fierce carjacking episode outside a West Hollywood boutique, unbeknownst to him. Leaving his vehicle running while participating in discussion with a female companion would prompt a life-changing occasion as he courageously endeavored to ruin the carjacker's plans. Franklin was unfortunately shot in the arm and leg, causing him enormous torment and constraining him to pull out from the impending Enticements' visit through Poland, a country still wrapped by the Iron Drapery. With Franklin's non-appearance, his individual allurements, part Otis Williams, took on the obligation of playing the bass during Franklin's exhausting recuperation. This episode not only briefly wrecked Franklin's profession, yet, in addition, disclosed the risk that snuck in the midst of the quest for distinction and achievement. Anyway, Franklin's devotion to his art stayed steady as he proceeded to channel his enthusiasm for music into other adventures. Past his commitments to the Allurements, Franklin additionally exhibited his gifts as a voice entertainer in 1984. His enrapturing voice reverberated through the energized series shaft position, where he revived the person wheels. This introduction to voice acting exhibited Franklin's flexibility as a craftsman and his capacity to captivate crowds through different mediums. Acknowledgement of Franklin's momentous ability and significant effect on the music industry came in 1989 when he was drafted into the regarded rock and roll corridor of notoriety. As an individual from the Allurements, this honor hardened his inheritance and recognized his huge commitments to the class. Anyway, the venture was a long way from going great for Franklin, as he confronted one more perilous obstacle in the mid-year of 1994. During this period, Franklin's well-being took a serious slump when he was raced to the emergency clinic and determined to have necrotizing fasciitis, a destroying tissue-eating illness. In an attempt to beat the clock to save his life, specialists played out a basic activity on Franklin's arm anyway. Because of his compromised invulnerable framework, the gamble of backslide kept on approaching over him, leaving him in a shaky condition of weakness. Notwithstanding these well-being moves, Franklin's devotion to his creation endured, and in September 1994, the Enticements were respected with a star on the distinguished Hollywood Stroll of Name. This groundbreaking event exhibited the perseverance through effect and tradition of the bunch, even as they explored through individual preliminary. Franklin's unflinching obligation to his music appeared through in January 1995, when he recorded his last follow. The Enticements, a polite interpretation of life, is nevertheless a fantasy for the collection for sweethearts. Just leaving a permanent imprint on the Gathering's discography, Deserted House in Michigan, USA. Melvin Franklin, the eminent part of the Enticements, lived in an enchanting house situated on Claremont Road in Detroit, Michigan, U.S. This home filled in as his home during the pinnacle of the allurement progress in the 1960s until his lamentable destruction. The two-story block house grandstands an engaging plan with more than adequate space, flaunting 4 rooms. One full washroom, what's more, an extra half-beat. After entering the lounge, one is welcomed by the tastefulness of stained glass windows, dazzling hardwood floors, French entryways, what's more, unique wood trim that oozes a feeling of timeless excellence in a wood-consuming chimney remains a comfortable highlight, giving warmth on cold winter evenings. Each room is furnished with roof fans guaranteeing solace all through the house. The main room brags an extensive wardrobe and a full shower total with a whirlpool tub, new tile, and a 2-fold vanity. A few essential upgrades have been made to the property, including another rooftop over the carport, new covering in the smokestack, as well as another elastic rooftop on the sunroom and gallery situated at the rear of the house. Thanks for watching this video.